Good morning. Welcome back to our channel OET with V and V. Today we are planning to have a discussion on tense. In our last video, we already discussed the basic part. That means what do you mean by subject, what do you mean by object, verb, and the types of subjects and all these things. And we are not at all going to explain all these things again here because it will take a lot of time. The video will be much lengthy. So we are going to discuss tense. So before starting the video, I would like to ask a question to my listeners. What do you mean by tense? What do you mean by tense? Yeah, tense tells the time of the action. What do you mean by tense? Tense tells the time of the action. Okay. So the tense is explaining to us when something happened or what is happening or what is going to happen. For example, now I am teaching you English grammar and you are listening to it. So this is happening right now. Early in the morning, I had my coffee, right? I drank coffee. That's already happened. Tomorrow, I'm planning to have a party. That's going to happen, right? So these things we will understand or we can understand from the tense. So tense tells the time of the action. And like all the regional languages of India, tense is classified into three main parts. Let's check what is it. Look, tense are classified into three: present tense, past tense, and future tense. Okay, what do you mean by this present? Present tense means what's happening right now. Right now, what is happening that is called present tense. And past tense means what already happened. And future, what's going to happen. Any confusion? Once again, I will explain you. Present tense means what's happening right now. Past tense, what already happened. Future tense, what's going to happen. So no confusion, right? Apart from this regional languages, what the difference in English grammar is that in our languages, for example, the only three tenses are there. In rare case, okay, fine, classifications are there, but I'm talking about the majority languages. Here in English, again, this tense is classified into several parts. For example, the present tense is classified again, past tense and future tense. So what we are planning to do today is that we are going to learn the classifications of present tense, and in that one only two we are going to discuss, not all the classifications or all the divisions. Fine. So we can discuss present tense. Present tense is again classified into four, which are the simple present tense, present continuous tense, present perfect tense, present perfect continuous tense. These things you have to memorize. Okay, that means the classification of present tense is four: simple present tense, present continuous, present perfect continuous tense. And now we are going to learn about simple present tense. So the easy way to learn English grammar, there are something, okay, I'm not at all saying that we have to memorize all these things, but there are some things we have to memorize or understand properly. Okay, so whenever we are learning a tense, two things you have to memorize or understand it properly, that are the format of the tense and the rules that uses for what purpose we are using that tense. Got it? Okay, so let's go with the format of simple present tense. Okay, this is the format. You can see my screen. Simple present tense. The format is subject plus base form of the verb. Subject plus base form of the verb. You know what is subject? We already discussed in our previous video. And verb also, you know that. I mean, what do you mean by verb? The definition and all the things that we already learned in our previous video. Here we are going to say the base form of the verb. What do you mean by this base form of the verb? For example, write, talk, listen, sleep, eat, drink. All these are the base form of the verbs. There is no additions. For example, we are not saying that writing, we are not saying that talking, we are not saying that talked. Okay, so base form means no ed forms, no en forms, no ing forms. The base form, for example, walk, talk, listen. Okay, so in simple present tense, the format is always like this: subject plus base form of the verb. Okay, and we also know that in English language we have a lot of overrules, right? Here, the overrule is like this: when the subject is third person singular, add s or es to the verb. Okay, when the subject is third person singular, we already learned in our previous video: first person, second person, third person. So I'm not at all going to give an explanation about that one. So those who need the explanation, please watch that video, English grammar part 1. So when the subject is third person singular, we will add yes to the verb. Any confusion? No. Okay, I can go with an example, right? For example, I write a letter. I, or we can say that they write a letter. And the overrule is when the subject is third person singular. We know that he, she, it, and third person singular. And when we say like this, he writes a letter. We will not say that he writes a letter. He writes a letter. Right? This is the format of simple present tense. Now we are going to discuss for what purpose we are going to use simple present tense. We will use simple present tense to express a habitual action. You know, daily routines. When you have to say daily routines, you will not go with any other tenses. You will go with simple present tense. So, for example, my father goes for a walk every morning. That's happening every morning. It's his habit, right? Okay, check. My father goes for a walk every morning. Here, what is the subject? My father. My father is third person singular. So to the verb go, we added es. My father goes for a walk every morning. Okay. Example number 2. He drinks tea at breakfast. He, the subject, drink, the verb. He is third person singular. That's why we add s. He drinks tea at breakfast. That's also his habit. Let's go with the third one. They watch television regularly. They, T-H-E-Y, they, right? They is third person plural. That's why we didn't add anything to this watch. We didn't say that watches. Okay, watch. They watch television regularly. Cool. We learned the first rule to express a habitual action. Let's go with the second one. To express a universal truth. A general truth. The sun rises in the east. It's a truth, right? Sun rises in the east. Don't go with my scientific. Okay. In science, we know that where the sun rises, east. This is, English grammar. So we can say like this: the sun rises in the east. The next one, water freezes at 0 degrees. Water freezes at 0 degrees. That's also a truth, general truth, yeah, universal truth. To express such kind of sentences or such kind of ideas, we will use simple present tense. And next, number 3, to express a future event that already planned. If you want to say something already planned, there is no need to go with simple future, yeah, which continues. You can say that in our simple present tense too. I know you are slightly confused. We can go with an example. I plan to go abroad soon after my studies. So after my studies, it's already planned, right? It's planned for the future. So I'm not saying that I will go abroad. I'm saying that I plan to go abroad, right? His mother arrives tomorrow. Yeah, his mother is going to come tomorrow. We are not saying that his mother will arrive tomorrow. We'll say that his mother arrives tomorrow. Hope you are clear with these things. If so, we can go with the next. This is just for your knowledge. I'm saying that it's no need to memorize these things to introduce quotations. So if you want to introduce a quotation, you have to say that in simple present. Robinson says, money is what money does. To express a request, that's also we are not at all using actually kindly go out of the room. And this you have to keep in mind that for this to purpose also we are using simple present. Fine. Okay. And there is some difference we have to follow in S. If an auxiliary verb comes between the singular subject and the verb, there will be no S. Okay, so auxiliary verb, you know that, right? Okay, we are planning to have detailed video about all the auxiliary verbs. So wait for that one. Here, I'm not at all going to explain the auxiliary verbs. You just know that verb and auxiliary verb, right? If an auxiliary verb comes between the singular subject and the verb, there will be no S. And we go with one example. Check. He can speak. Can. That's an auxiliary verb. So you will not say that he can speaks. But if you're saying that he hardly speaks. Next, he must speak. Must is an auxiliary verb. So we will not use the S word. He will not say that he must speaks. He must speak. But also is connected, right? So we can say he also speaks. The next, he may speak. May is an auxiliary verb. So S rule is not there. But if you are saying like this, he seldom, then you have to use the S rule and say that he seldom speaks. Hope you are clear with this. Thank you. And here we are going to just introduce you one term, that historical present. Okay, there is no need to memorize this thing, but you should have to know that these things exist. What do you mean by historical present or historical? I can go with an example that will be fine for you. Abraham Lincoln was one of the greatest personalities of our time. Abraham Lincoln was. We know that Abraham Lincoln died a couple of years back, but we will not use the past tense there. We will use Abraham Lincoln is one of the greatest personalities of our time. That is called what? You can see the word historical present. Historical present, you can see. Okay. And notice that when we use certain terms such as when, before, after, as soon as, unless, if, while, hence, until, by the time, etc., it gives a sense of future. Hence, the term should not be followed by will and shall. Okay, this thing we will discuss in detail when we are going to have a discussion on future. So just keep this in mind, and we are going. Okay. Now you know that when we just finished simple present tense, and we are going to learn present continuous tense. So what is the difference between simple present tense and present continuous tense? We already told you that present tense means what's happening right now. Then in that one, why we are making this classification? That's a natural doubt, right? Let me explain. Simple present tense, I'm saying that I write a letter. In that one, you are not at all getting a clear idea that I'm writing, yeah, I just finished, right? So that's a confusion. So to avoid that confusion, we are learning one more classification that is called present continuous tense. Here also I'm repeating the same thing what I explained when I talked about simple present tense. You have to memorize the form. The form is subject plus am, is, are plus verb plus ing. Okay, where to use this am, is, and are? Don't say that. I mean, don't use all these things together. When the subject is I, they will say I am writing a letter. When the subject is singular, for example, he is writing a letter. When the subject is plural, they are writing a letter. So subject singular, you can see subject. If it is I am. If subject is singular, for example, he is. If the subject is plural, and do like this. Subject they are. Then verb plus ing. Any confusion? No, not at all. Okay, let's go. And here also we are going to learn rules, yeah, uses. The first one is that to express an action that is going on at the time of speaking. I am writing a letter to my brother. So from this sentence, you exactly know that at the time of speaking, that action is going on. He is writing. He is writing. But if I say that I write a letter to my brother, are you sure that it's going on right now? No, right? So this to avoid this confusion, we are learning simple present tense and present continuous. Present continuous tense means it's actually happening right now. There's no doubt in that. It's happening right now. I am writing a letter to my brother. That means still, I mean, at the time of speaking, I'm writing that. Okay. So the second, to express an action that has already been pre-planned to do in the near future. If you want to do something in the near future, we can say that in present continuous tense. My friend is flying to UK next month. There is no need to use this simple future tense. You can say that in present continuous tense. My friend, you know that my friend is singular. That's why is fly plus ing. Fly. My friend is flying. Any confusion? No, right? And the verbs usually they are coming from. I come from. For example, if you are from Delhi, they have to say that. You can say that I come from Delhi. I come from Delhi. Not I am coming from Delhi. Somebody asks you, where are you from? I come from Delhi. Not that I'm coming from Delhi. It's an action, right? I hope you got it. And you know, in nowadays we are trying to avoid these ing forms. And whenever we are writing formal letters, formal emails, definitely it's better to avoid these ing forms. So if you are avoiding the ing forms, how we have to say that? For example, apart from asking, what are you doing? You can ask what you do. What do you do nowadays? How are you feeling? How do you feel? Where are you staying? Where do you stay? It's better. I'm not saying it's wrong, but it's better to use, I mean, not to use ing forms. Okay. Any confusion? No. So that's enough for today. Let's meet soon with our new video on present perfect and present perfect continuous tense. If you need any clarification or explanation, you please comment. And if you like this video, please subscribe and leave a comment. Thank you. Once again, thank you to all.